All right. Hey, how are you doing today, Taysia?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Now, don't be nervous with me. You know me all too well. They don't
I
know
know,
you know
right?
me, but you know me.
No, I know, right?
They don't know just how intimately we know each other. And by intimate, y'all, what I mean is I was in the room with her when she had her youngest son. Let me just clarify
Well,
that.
tell everybody that.
I'm very proud of that. I could have
Yeah,
delivered that baby if the doctors wasn't in the room.
you could have. You definitely could have, but you fed me first, which is always a good thing.
So, y'all, this is Taysia Jackson, and today she is joining us for an affirmation conversation on resilience. Welcome, Taysia. So, I see you were born in Landstuhl, Germany. Are you German?
No, I'm not German, but you know what? I should have picked German citizenship the way the world is going right now.
It is. So, how were you born there?
So my mom and my dad at the time of my conception, when they were married, they were in Germany. And so we were in Germany. I was born in Germany, and then we immediately moved to Hawaii, actually. So I don't even have any recollection of Germany.
Oh, nice. But you were there, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. So, are you a military brat?
I am. I am a military brat. My mom did her 20 years and she retired. And so I just kind of followed in her footsteps, I guess.
Oh, I was just about to ask that. Are you following in your mom's footsteps?
Yeah, it wasn't my dream, but we'll talk about it as we continue to go exactly how I ended up here at this position that I'm in now. But it definitely was not my dream, but I ultimately pretty much did the same thing my mom did.
Okay. So, you are serving in the military. You're currently stationed in Charlottesville, Virginia, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what are you doing down there?
I am the legal administrator, primary military education instructor. I'm the course manager for the next 2 years. So pretty exciting. I just came from being the director of operations, helping in the student detachment and student services. I'm sorry, in the dean's office. So that was pretty cool too.
That sounds really fabulous. That does sound really cool. So
Yeah.
when you said that that wasn't really your dream, so we're gonna go take it back a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about your path of resilience, because even though that wasn't your dream, you definitely made a really awesome life for yourself, and you have created a life that others would love to emulate, that others only dream about. So you were offered a full ride scholarship to the University of Florida. So do you have some Floridian in your blood?
So I actually so when I moved to Hawaii, we were there for 4 years, 5 years. I left there when I was in the third grade, and then we PCS to MacDill Air Force Base,
Oh,
which
nice.
is in
Tampa.
Florida. And so I was in Tampa, right?
Mhm.
So I was in Tampa from fourth grade until I graduated high school. So that
Wow.
is actually why I count Tampa or Florida as my home, where I'm from.
Oh,
So yeah,
absolutely.
my mom didn't, she only, I think my mom PCS 3 times in her career. I'm like, I'm jealous because
Wow.
I'm on PCS number 7.
Wow. 7 in how many years?
20 years. Well, for me, at 7 and 14. I'm not even, yeah.
Wow. And 3 and 20. Times have
3
definitely
and 20.
changed.
I know, right?
Wow. Okay. So you were offered a full ride to University of Florida. And then what happened?
So my full ride came from two areas though. I was a nerd. I am a nerd. I'm still a nerd. I graduated with a 5.1 GPA. And so I had an academic scholarship of 75%. And then the 25% came from me running track. They were able to get me a track scholarship to cover the other 25%. So that's how I ended up with the full ride scholarship. However, being grown, I ended up getting pregnant in my senior year. The funny thing about it is I actually got my scholarship after I had Isaiah. I beat all my records. My fastest times came from after having Isaiah. And
Wow.
for me, it was all about being resilient at that point, right? Because I had stepped into this situation where I didn't really know what I was going to do next, but I knew that I didn't want to fail. And so I took that as my motivation to keep it pushing, keep it moving. Like my coach, I'll never forget my coach. I wanted to run. And she was like, "You're not even 6 weeks postpartum." She was like, "Your uterus is not about to fall out on my track." And I was like, if
That's
I gotta get back in
hilarious.
shape, do something. Like I gotta get back in shape. And literally, she would hold Isaiah while I was at practice, and I would run and run and run. Like I was really, really determined to be fast and be fast again, like I was before, and was even faster from after having Isaiah. So it was pretty cool.
Wow. That is phenomenal. So at what age did you actually join the military?
So I joined the military. I was 18.
Wow. So you had Isaiah, you joined the military at 18, been serving for 14 years, and somehow during that time you have managed to acquire 4 degrees.
4 degrees.
How?
So, and they're all been on active duty. I have no student loan debt. I've used my tuition assistance. And I'll tell you from day one, I still have it. You gave me my integration counseling is what it was. And you were like, you are going to go to school. You are going to go to Troy University because that's where I go. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to Troy University.
That's right.
And you instilled that in me day one. So when I very first got to Fort McPherson, it was like, okay, I'm going to college. I have no other choice. This is what we're going to do. We're going to use my tuition assistance. And some people don't count the associate's degree as a degree, but I do. And I'm
That's
very, very
definitely a
proud of it.
degree. It's higher than high school, which high school is good too, y'all.
Right. But it's like some people, I know plenty of people that have tons of credit hours, but can't confirm anything,
Exactly.
right? They don't equal to anything. And so I use that. That is the first degree that you see when you come in my office because that is an accomplishment for me.
Exactly.
And it was at a time when I had Isaiah and I was deploying. I mean, I got to McPherson in July and I deployed in October. And so it was like, I have to do this. And I went to school the entire time. There was never a time that I wasn't in school. Even when I went to be a drill sergeant, I was carrying, like I had to do the waiver to take more than 2 classes at a time because I was crazy, lost my mind. Because I was like, I still have to finish my degree. And then I hit a couple bumps in the road along the way because the Army changed their requirements for the degrees. They recognized people were getting their degrees on the Army's dime and bouncing and getting out. And so I had to wait. Until I had 10 years in to get my master's, I believe. But then they had caught on to the fact that I was getting double bachelor's as well. And so they had got to the point where if you had a certain amount of credit hours, they stopped going towards that. But I was able to squeeze that in. As well. That's how I was able to get my, no, it was my bachelor's that they changed the rules. And then they changed the rules again when they said that you had to have the equivalent military education to the civilian education. So when I wanted to get my master's, even though I had completed the senior leaders course, SLC, I had switched to being a warrant officer. And so they put my account on hold because they were like, you just switched the basic course. And I'm like, but I've already did SLC, so I should be able to get my master's degree. And they wouldn't let me do it. They had to wait until I did a warrant officer advanced course, complete that, and then enroll again so that I could finish my master's degree.
Wow. Well, nothing held you back though.
Yeah, no, not at all.
That's absolutely phenomenal. So let's see. So you had Isaiah, came into the military, 18, got 4 degrees, but somewhere in there you also had Makai.
Yes.
And how are you dealing with that? Because I mean, I don't want to tell Makai's business, but if you want to tell it, then you go ahead. But how are you dealing with this? When you're talking about resilient, you're probably one of the most resilient people that I know. How are you juggling being like a super mom and a super soldier and a super officer and dealing with this?
Yeah, so kind of what you're talking about. Makai has sickle cell anemia. He has the SS, which is the most severe form of it, right? So I had Makai, that was 2009. So I was 2 years into the military at that point. And I knew when I got pregnant or along the way that there was a potential for him to have sickle cell. So kind of went back and forth with the doctor to decide whether or not to test him prior to having him. And they just asked me like, would that change anything? And my answer was absolutely not. Like, he's here, he's going to be here. So I had him tested as soon as he was born in his newborn screening. And so I knew from the very beginning that he had sickle cell anemia. So just being able to balance all of that, I think that is when I started taking a turn in my career, which was that I wanted to have the bull by the horns. I didn't want anybody to put me in a position or put me in a place where I wouldn't be able to balance being a mother, being a soldier, and doing the best that I really could. And so that is when I decided to like volunteer for things. So I volunteered to be a drill sergeant versus coming down the pipeline. They're like, oh, by the way, you're going to be a recruiter, which would have been absolutely right. So I was able to prepare for those things and make sure that the boys, especially Makai, was taken care of. And I was able to be very, very blessed in having someone that was willing to take care of him while I did my time on the trail. That was a registered nurse that knew how to take care of him, knew what medicines he needed to have. And then there were times where, of course, it was just me, him, and Isaiah. And I will tell you that as brothers, they fight a lot. But when Micaiah is sick, the first person he calls is his brother, literally. And Isaiah is always there, always willing to help him out, putting him on his back, carrying him around the house or whatever the case is. And so getting in any of those moments where Micaiah has been sick or been in the hospital or anything like that, I hold myself to being resilient. I hold myself to, this is going to get better. You just have to hold on just a little bit longer and we'll be all right on the other end. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, that is true. I know that it's hard for you, but you're so strong and you're one of the youngest of our group. But we all, if you don't know that, we all look at you, we admire you. You know, we're just so fond of you. We always talk about you in a good way, you know, because you're our baby. But we are really proud of you, Taysia, because you always, you know, you set in your ways, but they're good. You know, you're strong.
Yeah.
You said take the bull by the horns, and you are the bull, and sometimes we want to take your tail by the horns. but you really are. You are super strong, and we love that about you. Yeah. So what advice would you give someone who was kind of struggling in this area?
I would just say to keep the faith and just remember that it gets worse before it gets better, but it will get better, right? No matter what the situation is, you always do your best when your back is up against the wall, because the wall is there. That means you can't go no further back. It means it's time to push forward. It means it's time to push through and get through to the other side, because you absolutely can, no matter what. You just have to, sometimes there are times where I have to take a moment, right? And I have to stop and think and gather my thoughts and be realistic in the fact that I know that at the end of the day, it'll get better. It'll get better eventually. Just hold on to it and you'll be all right. Always. You'll always be all right.
Awesome. Well, I'm pretty sure where you are now is not probably exactly where you saw yourself at, but I mean, you're doing phenomenal, by the way. I mean, I remember once upon a time, you know, you were my young soldier, and now in 2 months, we will be at the same rank. So, I mean, if you really think about it, like, that's absolutely incredible. So I know we don't always know, you know, our plans. We still try to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure it out, even though I am eligible to retire next year. And believe me, it's happening. But what do you see yourself? What is your ultimate goal in life?
So my focus right now is the boys, right? Because I'm literally their foundation. And so making sure that they're good and making sure that they have everything that their heart desires and they're able to do whatever it is they want to do is my, I guess you would say, my 50 meter. But for me and my ultimate goal, it has to do with traveling. Whatever it is, it's going to be tied to traveling, because I love to go. I love to be anywhere other than where I'm at. Even when I'm somewhere else, I'm already thinking about, okay, where can I go next? Where's the next passport stamp? Where's the next state that I've never been to? Where's the next football game or basketball game or hockey game or any of that is outside of where I'm at, so that I can experience all those different things and cultures and events and all of that. So it will definitely be tied to travel. And I just haven't quite figured out exactly what it'll be.
Well, that's awesome. So I know you have 2 Instagrams, and I know one is tied to like a little travel blog. Is that private? Can people try to like follow you on there? Can we put it out there, or you don't want people to be stalking you on that?
No. You actually can follow me on that Instagram.
Tell us what it is.
Okay, hold on. Look, you got me trying to remember. Okay, so it's Tay, Tay_tripping. Because Tay be tripping. I'm all over the place, and I do be tripping for real in real life, but I be tripping going other places. So Tay_tripping, TRIPPIN.
That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna definitely make sure we follow you on there. And you do. I know. I just saw you and the boys went to shoot, it's on the tip of my tongue. Everyone loves this place. I want to go there for whatever reason.
Well,
where you and the boys go?
We went to Costa Rica. Not Costa Rica. I don't know if you're talking about Costa Rica or Dubai.
Dubai, yes. I'm like, what? First of all, Qatar was in my, I know y'all wouldn't know damn Qatar, but that was in my head. I'm like, girl, it's not that.
No. Yeah, no, we went to Dubai for Christmas and New Year's brought the New Year's into 2022 in Dubai.
That was awesome. I brought my New Year's in on the couch with COVID, and I'm sitting back with COVID again on the back porch. Well, that is absolutely awesome. So if you had a quote or a tagline, what would it be?
This too shall pass.
That's right.
This too shall pass. Like my mom tells me that all the time, and that is like our go-to is that this too shall pass, because it will. It absolutely will. And it gets better, like always.
It does. I love that. So if you had the power to choose between being a resilient person or being a wealthy person who was not resilient, by the way, who just could not handle setbacks, downfalls, obstacles, or a resilient person, what would you choose?
I would choose to be a resilient person. I would absolutely 100 times over. Sometimes I get in my feelings about being resilient because I don't always want to have to be resilient, right? There are times where I don't want to have to bounce back, right? But life happens. And so because I'm so strong, I feel like sometimes I'm tested a little bit more than anybody else. And there are times where I just don't want to do that right now. But I always do, right? I always find the strength and find the courage to make sure that I'm back in a place and back in a space where I'm happy, my kids are happy, and the world is great.
I love it. I love it. Well, before we close it down today, is there anything else you want to add to this interview?
Just if you ever find yourself in a place or space where you just don't know what's next, breathe. Just stop and breathe. Being a person, I catastrophize. And so I'm always thinking about the worst. I'm always thinking about the worst. But I found that when I stop and breathe and I put it in perspective, literally, that it's a lot better than what I've developed in my head. I've developed these things that make it seem like it's a whole lot worse, but it's really not. And this too shall pass, and you can make it through onto the other side for sure.
Yes. And another thing that I've learned, instead of, questioning like why me, especially for like the good things, right? Like ask yourself, like, why not me? And even sometimes for the bad things, because sometimes we go through things because there is a lesson. It's like a test of our strength, to see how we can persevere through things too. So instead of asking like, why me? Why am I going through this? Like, why not me? Am I not strong? Am I not resilient? Am I not capable? Of course you are. Because honestly, I know this sounds really cliche, but we really can accomplish anything that we set our minds and our hearts to. Now, can I probably go out there and like throw a touchdown? Probably not. But if I practice a lot with the right people and coaches, then it's possible. It's not impossible. But I'm gonna stay within the talent. But you know what I mean. But thank you so much, Taysia. I'm very proud. I've definitely been able to watch you grow from that 18-year-old soldier into this young 30-year-old person, and you are phenomenal. I just saw the pictures of you with the boys from your photo, the mother and son's photo shoot that you posted yesterday. And I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely fantastic. I mean, honestly, it gave me chill bumps. Like, nobody cannot deny the love that you have for Isaiah and Makai. It's absolutely phenomenal, and they absolutely come first in your life, and it is awesome. That resilience has definitely pushed you, and your love for them has definitely pushed you. And I cannot wait to see what they become. Don't you start crying. Knock you out, girl.
I'm not.
Okay.
No, right?
I can't wait to see what they become with you having like given them like everything, and with you just supporting them even beyond their childhood years, and what you become when you empty nested and you calling them still all in your business.
All right.
All right, girl. Love you. Thank you so much for talking to me today. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi there. Thanks again for tuning in to another I Do Affirm Affirmation Conversation. I know you enjoyed the conversation with Taysia just as much as I did. That's my little baby, by the way. She's gonna kill me for saying it. but she is. We've been attached pretty much for the past 17 years or so. And I just truly adore her. I love watching her grow over the years. She has literally turned into a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal mother, and I'm just really proud of her. So I just wanted to throw that out here for her as a surprise and to embarrass her just a little bit. And I think she was the perfect person to discuss the topic of resilience because I have seen how she has been resilient in her life. So she is definitely someone who is worthy of talking to you all about that. She's never given up, and she wouldn't want you to do it, and neither would I. Like she said, it's all about the comeback, and it's true. We all go through some things that's meant to break us, to test us, and it's not the journey, it's the destination. It's how we come out of things that makes us who we are, that tests our strength. I'm not saying the journey's not important. The journey is important because that's what gets you to the destination. But the destination, where you end up, is what truly shows who you are and the type of abilities that you have. Just need to clarify that. You are a living testimony of something. There are many things in your life that you've gone through, and you probably don't even realize that for other people, those things would have been really, really tough to conquer and get over. But you did it. You've likely overcome many obstacles that would have broken someone else. So share your stories. Be an advocate for someone else. Be a shoulder. Be a beacon of hope. There is a way to make things better. There always is. Try to find that for yourself, for things that you're going through, especially when you do feel hopeless. There is always hope, whether it's in a friend, a family member, a colleague, an institution. There's always something out there for you to make things better. Trust me, I've used all those things and I'm still doing it now. You have to just want to be better. To be better, you have to want to be better. Honestly, I believe that is the first step. You can't just be saying that you want to be better, but then you're not out here making any type of steps, putting anything in motion, making all the wrong choices. That ain't gonna work, y'all. If you want better, you gotta do better. And you gotta be resilient. It's okay if you fall down 99 times. But that 100th time, that might just be the one time that you need to totally change things in your life. That might be the ultimate test. Take it. Don't give up on yourself. And surround yourself with people, as I always say, who won't give up on you, who continue to push you, help to make you a more resilient person. Because you got this. If I got it, you got it. I believe it. And you should too. Take care.